Dare to be great. Alessandro Costa absolutely dared to be great in his UFC debut against an Amir Albazi, who was supposed to fight the number 4 ranked man in the flyweight division. Listen, tough test, tough outing, and the dude who has nothing but crack in his hands had to play some jiu-jitsu in this fight. But Amir Albazi, in interesting fashion, I think this is the problem. When you're so good and you're so dominant and someone knows that your goal is to come out and to submit them, they're going to do whatever they can to prevent that, right? So while, yes, in hindsight, that minus 110 submission prop, probably not the smartest, the TKO was probably the next best bet, and we should have been looking at why is it a plus 650 prop, you know what I mean, in terms of like why do the odds makers not think he can get it done? Because that's, if you can't submit him, you can get in the guard, or you can put yourself in a spot where you can get that ground and pound finish, and Amir Albazi absolutely did that. Now, my question to you, AJ, did you expect him to drop him in order to then finish up with the ground and pound, or did you think he'd be able to do it simply just from guard passing and things of that nature?
I thought it was going to be simply from guard passing, man. I didn't realize Albazi had those kind of hands, bro, and he was looking good. The slower that Costa got, the better Albazi's hands were looking, and man, that uppercut was very impressive. But credit to Costa too, man. I got to give a lot of credit to this kid because he came in, I forget how short of a notice, 8 days, 12 days, some kind of short notice, stepped in against an absolute beast in the division, top 10 fighter in the division, and gave him a pretty damn good fight. I mean, like you said, Derek, when you go in there and you know the other guy is a specialist at this, you're going to be training that, so you're going to stop a lot of that. So Costa did a very good job as far as defending the ground game and all that stuff, man. I expected it to be a lot easier. But that's what happens. You get so focused on this guy's specialty that you realize that he can crack you with some hands too. And sure enough, you ate an uppercut, you go to sleep. It happens. But, man, very impressive fight for both guys.
100%. And that's the thing, too, man. You got to think all the pressure was on Amir Albazi. You're number 8. You're fighting this random guy coming in, you know what I mean, has massive knockout power. So I can also see why, like, the first round was super slow. So when I was like first round submission, I was like, okay, well, that bet's out the window because, like, they didn't really do much at all in the first round. There's a lot of respect between the two. But the question is not even, and this is, I feel bad because you don't want to disregard Costa, but you knew this was a placeholder. This was not a meaningful matchup in the division. So for Amir Albazi, it's like, who is going to be next? They're even saying, they're like, because he's saying, I'm trying to fight a ranked dude. None of these dudes want to fight me. Royval pulled out. Perez pulled out. Like, all these guys pulled out. So the next fight needs to be somebody ranked either higher than him or in the same level. But a lot of people are saying, well, if you don't get that ranked fight, you know who you can fight? Muhammad Mokaev. And it's like, oh, that would be a good fight, bro. But also, is Mokaev ready for that number 8? I know this dude is young. He's a monster and all that. He's trying to be on his Hamza. You know, I smash everybody. But do you think he's ready for Amir Albazi?
I think so. I think we can give it to him, man, because Albazi needs that kind of young fighter energy to really make a name for himself. Mohamed Mokaev is a problem, man, an absolute problem in division. But I feel like Albazi's just talented and experienced enough to really give Mokaev a lot of problems in there. So it'd be a very, very good test. I don't like, if I was the managers of both of these fighters, I wouldn't like the fight for either of the guys. But as a fan, I really like this fight going forward. Very stressful fight for both these dudes, man. Who do you think gets that one?
I think Albazi will be able to get it done, man. I think that there might just be a little bit of a difference between the two in terms of, 1, experience, 2, simply just strength. Mokaev is a very strong dude, but I think Amir Albazi will be able to mitigate some of that relentless, nonstop grappling from him, or at least put him in danger, right? You know, and we're going to talk about in the prelims, like a similar, like Saeed Yoka versus Nurmagomedov, right? 2 powerhouse, relentless dudes, and then the dude who was winning, who was being relentless, ended up getting choked out. Like, it is what it is. But fantastic win by Amir Albazi. You got to feel for him. He needs to get somebody in the top 10, preferably and probably the top 5 in his next fight.